Pilates movement sessions. We are going to be looking at stretching and testing today with the use of a foam roller. You need a soft reflex ball and one of these loop resistance bands. Starting off in standing, we're going to test a lot of the movements and see how they improve as and when we go with the releases. Let's come up to standing. So starting off in that standing position, feet slightly apart, a little bit wider than hip distance. And I want you to test the range of movement in your neck. So see how far you can go into that rotation. Let's bring the reflex ball. If you have a hard reflex ball that you think will be a little bit more beneficial, then take one of those. A tennis ball will also do. I want you to start off with the ball under the big toe and roll down along the inside of the foot. So you're moving over the arch of the foot. Move the ball over to the lateral side of the foot. So you want to work in the entire foot. Try and wrap the toes over the ball, so being around that area as well, pushing into that soft ball. Let's now release the foot, and I want you to test your range of movement specifically to that side, the same foot that you've just released. Do the other side to just test that range of movement. It will improve slightly, but let's take the ball underneath and see if that helps it that little bit more. Releasing from the big toe all the way to the heel. Move the ball all the way over to the lateral side of the foot. When you're in this position, just keep focusing on your posture. Try not to look down too much. Keep the chin lifted. Really get the toes around the ball, so spread the foot out and loosen up. Good. And release the foot. Step the feet apart, a little bit wider than hip distance again. And now you should feel the range of movement to that side is slightly better. Now what we're going to do, we're going to continue moving and we're going to focus on releasing these sternocleidomastoid when we come onto the roller. So these muscles from behind the ear moving down to the clavicle. Those are often responsible for a lot of tension, even something called vertigo, that dizziness that sometimes we suffer from. These muscles become very tight and they can be responsible for those kind of issues. For now, we're going to come onto the back of the mat. You're going to take a nice deep breath in. Circle your arms up and just roll down through the spine. Just bounce there. Again, just testing your range of movement, how far down you can go. Relax your head. Make sure your neck is not taking any strain, so chin coming to the chest. Let's walk down onto the hands and knees. We're now going to position the ball behind the knee. Onto that, there's a muscle in there called the popliteus. We're going to release that. We also want to release the plantar fascia, which is in the arch of the foot, often responsible for a lot of tension in the back line of the body. Just keep the hands lightly on the mat. Curl the toes under, as I said, and bounce your bum back towards your heels. We're going to wiggle the hips a little bit from side to side. So just focusing on loosening up that muscle. Sometimes the ball does slip out. Just make sure you keep it firmly positioned behind the knee. Wiggle the hips a little bit from side to side. Good, let's move the ball over to the other side. So again, just position it nice and firmly behind the knee. Curl the toes under to increase the stretch into the arch of the foot. that plantar fascia, bounce the bum back to the heels, and you're going to wiggle the hips from side to side, just getting a little bit more movement into the knee, and bounce back again, and wiggle a little bit more. Don't forget to have your water on standby just to hydrate and plump up that fascial tissue as we go through. And release the ball. Keep it handy because we're going to use it just now on the roller. Now what I want you to do is uncurl the feet. You're going to bring your hands behind your head. And we're going to go into a nice big arch position. So I want you to initiate each of the movements. And as we go, I want you to feel how the lower back loosens up and you'll get more mobility into the hip area. You're going to breathe out, you're going to tuck and round the spine, bring the elbows down towards the hips and bounce in that position. Hover the tailbone up above the heels and open up. So again, you're arching from the tailbone, breathing in, creating space. I want you to breathe into that space around the diaphragm. Breathe out, tuck and round. Bounce the elbows down towards the hips. And again, nice deep breath in. Open up and arch. Tuck from the tailbone, breathing out. And bounce. You should feel those quads engaging quite nicely here. Let's arch from the tailbone. Breathe in and open for the last one. And breathe out, tuck and round. And bounce. Good. From there, come onto the hands and knees. You're going to turn the feet out. So you're going to open up the toes. Open up the feet. Turn the toes out. So you're in this position here. We're going to continue moving into that cat stretch like we did on the knees. This time we're going to just use the hands, but again, with light pressure, so you're really feeling the movement around this lower back and hip area. Breathe into the arch position and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So you're not in a rounded position, you're really opening up across the chest. Breathe out, tuck and round. Good. Breathing in, you're going to start sliding your hands slightly towards your knees. And then as you breathe out into that rounded position, you can push the fingers away. So you'll feel those abdominal muscles moving and contracting. The more you use your head and the more you use your hands, pushing and pulling away. Let's do another two. A nice deep breath in. As you come into that rounded position, push the heels down and see if you can open up and push them down a little bit more there in the hips. Open up in the hips, push the heels down. Breathe in for the last one. And you're going to breathe out into that rounded position. Good. Bring the feet back onto the mat. Let's now position the roller next to you on the mat. You're going to bring the inner thigh onto the roller. So drop down forward onto your front. Come towards the roller and bring your knee up onto the roller. So have the roller quite far down so you can rest your foot on the roller. Your supporting foot, I want you to open it up as much as you can. Keep the hips square to the mat and you're going to roll along the inner thigh. Stay on the elbows, relax your hands so you're not taking any tension in the shoulders by clenching the fingers. Let's roll along the inner thigh. This is often an area that carries a lot of tension, part of that deep core line that runs from the arch of the foot along the inside of that leg. So focus on your breathing, which will help ease you into the movement. Let's do another two. And another one. You're going to just turn around and repeat the same movement to the other side. Coming onto your abdominals. Lift your knee up, open up your supporting foot. Stay on the elbows and roll along the length of that inner thigh. Keep focusing on the breathing. Another 4. And you'll usually find one side a little bit more tender than the other, because we often favor one side more, putting a little bit more weight into that side, and that will often bring with it a bit more tension. Let's finish off with the last one. Bring the roller between the knees, and coming back up onto your hands and knees. So we're going to resume that cat stretch, pushing away. As we come into that arch position, I want you to use the heels of the hands and push, like you're sliding the hands towards the knees, but I want you to push deeper into the mat. And then as you breathe in, that's when you're going to pull the heels of the hands towards the mat, the knees. And then as you squeeze the roller, you're tucking under. The more you use your head and the more you use your hands, now you're pushing the fingers away. You're going to really feel those abdominal muscles engaging. As we open up, we're going to pull again, pushing down into the mat, pulling the hands towards you. From the tailbone, you're breathing out, tucking. Squeeze the roller between the feet and the knees, and then we're going to start progressing to a lift with the knees. So you can start that movement as soon as you're ready. Let's push into the mat, open up and arch. Tuck from the tailbone, round the spine, push away with the hands and squeeze the roller. Lift it up if you want to. Inhale as you breathe in and arch. Breathe out, squeeze the roller. Start exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Squeeze and lift the knees if you want to. Feel those abdominal muscles engaging. Breathing in, open up, squeeze. Now, make sure the glutes are activating. Remember, they're part of that core. And squeeze the roller, tuck under and lift the knees. Again, we breathe in, open up and arch. Breathe out. Push, 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 squeeze and tuck under. Let's go for another 4. Nice deep breath in, open up. Squeeze that roller, tucking around the spine. Let's do it again. 3 more. Nice deep breath in. Using those hands. Breathe out. Squeeze and lift. Another 2. Nice deep breath in. Open up. Breathe out. Push away. For the last one, nice deep breath in. And push away. Hold it there. Pulse. Breathe. And release. Good. From there, you're going to curl the toes under, pushing up into your pyramid or down dog position. I want you to try and keep the knees straight and walk the feet up to the hands. Take that reflex ball. We're going to use that in a minute and sit down onto the bottom of your roller. Just make sure the roller is on the mat. And we're going to reach those arms up to the ceiling. And then tucking, squeezing the glutes, roll down through the spine. 1 vertebra onto the roller at a time. Use your hands if you need to, just to get that stability. Take your reflex ball, bring your arm and open it up. If you can't get the elbow onto the mat, then you can extend the arm out and use that hand just to support the position. Otherwise, elbow as far down as possible. Take the reflex ball and we're going to massage into the pectoral muscles. So those muscles in the front of the chest, under the clavicle, that bony process next to the sternum as well. So you're going to massage around this area. Just rolling the ball That lemon squeezing motion, pushing down and twisting. Push down and twist. Push down and twist. Push down and twist. Relax the hand. Push down and twist. Keep going. Releasing this area. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move onto the neck. That muscle I was talking about, it comes from behind the ear, along down to the clavicle, that's your sternocleidomastoid. It runs along here. We're going to move into the neck with that lemon squeezing motion. Push down and twist, loosening up this muscle here, releasing it. Push down and twist. Push down and twist. Rolling in little circular motions around the neck. Move the ball forward and back, up and down. Move it around that neck. Now you can bring the ball onto the face, along the jawline, over the cheek area. Just focus on this side of the face. Move up to the temporal lobe next to the eye, around this temporal lobe, and move up onto the forehead. Change hands and move over to the other side so you can look away from the arm. So you're resting that other arm, either the elbow or the hand in line with the shoulder. If the elbow is on the mat, then just the hand down flat on the mat next to the roller, and we're going to just roll. We're going to start off on the face, just moving around the cheek area and down over the jawline where we often carry a lot of tension there. Now move into the neck. Push and twist down over that muscle there that runs down to the clavicle. Push and twist, push and twist. Rolling from side to side as well. So just getting that area a really nice release. Let's move onto the front of the chest, onto the pectoral muscles underneath the clavicle, massaging that area. Push and twist, that lemon squeezing motion. Push and twist, push and twist. While you're doing this, I want you to focus on that breathing. So breathing in and out through the nose, a nice deep diaphragmatic breath. So nice and slow, massaging it. You can now release the ball. We're going to extend the hands, the heels of the hands, up to the ceiling. And I want you to spread the fingers out, open up, especially those thumbs. Make sure those thumbs are nice and open. So any conditions like you got your thoracic outlet syndrome, which is starting from the neck, carpal tunnel, which is in the wrist because of that median nerve. This is a really nice release for the shoulders and the arms in this position. Flexing the wrists. We're going to hug the roller with the shoulder blades. Palms are facing up to the ceiling. Stay there, and you're going to push and tuck. So lifting the shoulders off the roller and reaching the heels of the hands up to the ceiling. You're scooping the belly in, engaging the glutes and tucking under. So this is your exhalation because you're not creating space, you're shortening the distance around this diaphragm. Let's breathe in, create that space. Hug the roller with the shoulder blades and open up across the chest. Breathe in here. Breathe out. Tuck and extend the hands up. Or keep the elbows straight and reach those hands up. Let's do it again. And breathing out. Breathing in for 3. Push up and extend for 4. Breathe in again for 5. And breathing out. Breathe in. Breathing out. We've got 3 to go. Nice deep breath in. And breathing out. Another 2. And breathing out. And the last one. And breathing out. From here, we're going to lengthen the arms up next to the ears. I want you to bend the elbows now. You're going to start tucking under and squeezing the shoulder blades around the roller. Now bring the elbows and the palms together. Breathe in. Hands are together. Open up the elbows, arching, breathing in. Elbows down to the roller. Now let's incorporate that. Push up to the ceiling. Reach there. Let's breathe in and open up. Breathe out. Bend the elbows. Circle them down towards the roller. Let's flex the wrists and open up. Breathing in again. Push the hands to the ceiling. Breathing out. Circle, circle, circle. Bring the hands back up. Again, let's breathe in and arch. Open up and circle. Breathing out. Pushing up. Breathe in and circle. Breathing out. Breathe in. And breathing out. We're going to do 2 more. Pushing up, breathing in. And breathe out. And the last one. And breathing in, and come back. Just breathe out. Elbows in line with the shoulders and pulse the elbows down to the mat or the floor next to the mat. Hugging the roller with the shoulder blades and just really focusing on that stretch. Let's keep the elbows on the mat now and position the hands. We're going to bring one knee over the hip, bring the other knee over the hip. From there, I want you just to get a little bit of rotation and a nice lateral stretch. You're twisting the hips and the knees and the feet from side to side. So actually the knees will stay where they are. The hips and the feet are going to twist from side to side. Twist. Keep going, twist. Another 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Come back to the center. Extend your feet up to the ceiling. Open up the legs. Drop the toes so your heels are pointing up to the ceiling. And you're just going to pulse in that extended position. Extend and lengthen. Lengthening those inner thigh muscles. If you can, I'd like you to extend your arms out. Light touch on the fingertips. Just challenge your balance and those core stabilizers just a little bit more. Breathe into this movement. And let's bend the knees and bring them back. Release one foot, release the other foot. Lengthen the legs out. Have a nice big stretch. Yawn, releasing any tension in the jaw. And squeezing the glutes. Rock from side to side. In this position, I just want you to roll the roller over the shoulders. You can bend the knees, bring the hands onto the opposite shoulder, and I want you to do the same thing. Just rolling from side to side. Keep the feet nice and wide apart so it stabilizes you, and you can rock over a little bit more. Tucking the tailbone under, so you're massaging into the lower back as well on that side of the spine. Rock over, tuck under, scoop the belly in, engage the glutes, so you're getting a little bit of a release on the lower back and the glutes as well, the buttocks. Okay, let's do 2 more. One side, and then over to the other side. Roll off the roller, and you can release the roller for now. Taking that reflex ball, we're going to lie in a supine position. You're going to bring your resistance band just above your knees. We're going to position the ball so in line with your hip bone on the dimple on that side of the spine. So you'll feel a little dimple, and it is on the bony process. So a little bit of a sensitive squat. If your clothes aren't getting in the way, just lift them up. So, as I said, in line with the hip bone. Feet are straddled, nice and wide apart, so keep the resistance in the band. And just tucking under slightly, so you're scooping in a little bit. We're going to rock the hips from side to side. Now, while you're rolling along this line, I want you to identify a trigger point. Now you're going to rest that ball on the trigger point. It might be closer to the hip, it might be closer to the spine. You can bring the hands behind the head, open up the knee that's on the ball, keep the other foot flat, and now you're going to bounce that knee out, keeping the resistance in the band, so you should feel the glutes engaging on that side, on both sides in fact, and bounce that knee out. Bounce it out. You're getting a nice release into that lower back. Sciatica issues, the nerve that runs down the leg. This is a great one for that. Bounce that knee down. Let's release that side, and we're just going to rock over and repeat this release to the other side. So you can bring the hands behind the head, position the ball in line with the hip bone. Feet are nice and wide apart, and just rock the hips from side to side. Find that trigger point, put the ball on that trigger point, supporting foot flat, turn this foot out, and you're going to bounce that knee open to the side. Bounce it. And a little bit more wiggling if you want to release it a little bit more, and bounce. Come back to the center, just releasing the ball and releasing the band. Still keeping the feet nice and wide apart. This time, straddle the mat with the feet. I want you to rock the knees over. Open up that back knee and the hip. Then you're going to take the front foot onto that back knee. Now I want you to take your hands directly onto the skin if you can, and inside the hip bone, you're pushing the knee down, so getting a nice stretch around this area. I want you to massage up the inside of that hip bone and over the waist area. So just underneath the rib cage, you're massaging into that area, increasing that stretch as well. So here we're creating that two-directional pull, that tensegrity. You're pushing down with the foot and lengthening, and you're pulling in the opposite direction. So you're getting that tensegrity movement, two-directional pull. Keep focusing on the breathing. As we release this area, see how the breathing can improve. you're cramping anywhere, make sure you're focusing on the breathing and just loosen up the neck a little bit. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So just straddle the mat, rock the knees away from the direction the head is going, and then bring the front foot onto the knee. Make sure that back knee is open. Take the hands onto the inside of that hip and massage above the hip and below the rib cage. Keep pushing that knee down. Keep the movement going. So you're pulling up and pushing the knee down. Don't forget to breathe. Work right over the waist. We're going to do a few oblique activations in a minute. So we really want to release this area here. Let's do another 2. Nice deep breath in. And breathe out. And another one. And breathe out. Take hold of your foam roller. Bring the ear onto the foam roller. So before we move into those exercises for the waist, those obliques, we're going to just release the piriformis. So it's a nice release. It'll be on the bottom leg, the movements in the top hip and the arm, but you'll feel the release in the bottom hip. Bring the palms one on top of the other. The knees are forward at hip height at a 90-degree angle. Try to keep the foot where it is, and we're sliding the fingers forward and the knee forward, and then you're pulling back. So forward and back. Relaxing the head, so you're not putting any tension in the neck. You want the body in a nice, comfortable position to really feel the benefit of the release. Let's go for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 more. Let's come up and do the same thing to the other side. Palms together, ear on the roller, feet and knees and hips all 90 degrees. And we're going to breathe in and out. Breathe in as you come back, breathing out as you rock forward. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Keep the body nice and relaxed and out. Breathing in and out. We're going to do 5 more. And breathe out and 4. Breathing in. 2 more. And the last one. And breathe out. Good. From there, release the roller and the resistance band. Maybe have a quick drink of water. Bring the resistance band above the knees. We're now coming onto the elbow. Bring the top hand into the palm of the hand. We're working into the glutes and around this core area. I don't want you to feel any tension in the shoulder, so you want to really focus on opening up and arching and squeezing the glutes to putting more weight into this area. Bring the top hand into the palm of the bottom hand, and let's breathe in and open up. As we breathe out, we're coming into that rounded position. We're going to lift up off the hip, and you're going to bounce that knee up for 2, 3. Drop down, and a nice deep breath in again. Breathe out, tuck it around. We're lifting and bouncing. Still exhaling. You should feel those obliques engaging. If you are taking any strain in the shoulder, then you won't lift up off that hip. You'll just stay open, breathe out, tuck, and you'll stay in this position and pulse there. But what's nice about lifting off is you get more activation in those oblique muscles. Drop down onto the hip. Let's breathe in, open up, breathe out, tuck, lift up and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Now if you can, and you're not taking any strain into the shoulder, I'd like you to stay in the lifted position. We're going to hold it here and breathe in an arch. As you breathe out, tuck, pulse. 2, 4. Drop down if you need to, stay up if you can. Breathing out and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Keep going, keep the knee open, open up an arch. Breathe out, tuck, pulse. 2, 3, 4. We're going to do another 4. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, tuck, pulse. 2, 3, 4. Hold it open. Breathe in. Breathe out, tuck, pulse. 2, 3, 4. Again, 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out, tuck, pulse. 2, 3, 4. Last one. Breathe in. Breathe out, tuck. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Good. Well done. Drop down onto your hip again. Now we're going to come onto the hands. We're going to keep the knees in this position. We're going to lift up and we're going to open up the knee. So you're going to keep those muscles around the core engaged, and we're going to push up. Come into that rounded position. Breathe in, open up, push up. Come into that rounded position. Breathe in, open up, push up, tuck, rounded position. Breathe in, open up, drop down into that open position, tuck and breathe out. 5 to go, open up, push up, breathe out, tuck, breathe in. 4 more, breathe out, tuck, breathe in. 3 more, breathe out, tuck, breathe in. 2 more, breathe out, tuck, breathe in for the last one, and breathe out. Good. Rock forward onto the hands and knees. In this position, you're going to curl the toes under. We're going to come up into a pyramid position. So we're going to bounce the chest towards the thighs. We're going to tuck the tailbone under, come forward into an extended plank position. From here, we're going to bend the knees. You're keeping the band on, so I want you to open up the knees and keep the resistance there. Bounce the chest towards the thighs. Extend the legs. Tuck the tailbone under. Come here and we hold the plank. Breathing in and out through the nose. Be careful this doesn't happen. Keep the hips in line with the shoulders. Push back into your pyramid position. Or let's actually drop the knees and bend. Pulse the tailbone and the chest. Pulse the chest towards the thighs. Now we're coming into that pyramid and tuck the tailbone under and push into the plank position. Hold it here and breathe. Like as we did earlier, bend the knees, open up into the pelvis, chest towards the thighs, bounce the chest back. Now from here into that pyramid, bounce the chest again, tucking under, come into this position. Focus on squeezing the glutes, breathing, and breathe out. 1 more last deep breath in for 4 counts, and breathe out. Open up into the pelvis, bend the knees and bounce the chest to the thighs. Let's extend into that pyramid, bounce again, relax the head. Good, tuck the tailbone, come forward into your plank position. Hold it and breathe. Bend the knees, open up the pelvis, bounce the chest towards the thighs. Good, extend into your pyramid. Again, you bounce and come forward to your plank position. Breathe into it. Breathing in for 4 counts. And breathe out. Walk the hands back to the feet. Keep the resistance band where it is. And I want you to just come into that squat position. If you're not comfortable with the hands on the mat, you can bring the hands onto the knees. Otherwise, I want you to hold onto your big toes or bring the fingers under the toes. From there, we're going to round the spine. Keep the knees slightly bent. Breathe in, open up and arch. So each movement again, like we've been doing, is going to initiate from the tailbone, tucking, head comes in. Keep the knees soft. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hands are on the knees, breathing out and breathing in. Let's keep going, breathing out and breathing in. The last one, breathe out and breathing in. We're going to walk the hands forward, drop onto the knees, walk the hands back, walk the hands forward, drop onto the knees, walk the hands back, walk the hands forward to the knees, walk the hands back, walk the hands forward, walk the hands back. 2 more. Walk the hands back. For the last one, stay where you are and then just rotate around onto your other side. Take a quick drink of water. We're going to repeat what we did to this side. So coming onto the elbow, think about the shoulder, think about pulling up and opening up, breathing, putting more emphasis on the glutes and the core, so squeezing and tucking under, so you're not putting any weight into the shoulder, you're feeling all that work around this core area. We're going to breathe in, arch, breathe out, tuck, pulse. 2, so I'm going to show you this option first, and then we're going to move into that lift. So it's a progressive movement. So as you feel you can lift up off the hip, you can do so. Let's drop down. Take a nice deep breath in, open up. As you breathe out, if you want to lift up, let's lift up and pulse. 4, 2, 3, 4. Drop down if you want to. Breathe in and arch. Stay up if you can. Breathe out, tuck and lift. Pulse. 2, 3, 4. Hold it open. Breathe in. Breathe out and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Again, nice deep breath in. Breathe out and tuck and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Keep going. Breathe in. Breathe out and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in and arch. And tuck. Pulse. Focus on the breathing. Exhaling in this position. Open up and breathe in. Breathe out. Tuck. 2. We're going to do 3 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pulse. 2, 3, 4. Again, 2 more. Breathe out. Pulse. 2, 3, 4 for the last one. Breathe out and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Drop down onto that hip. Come up onto your hands. So we're going into that push-up position. So we're lifting up off the hip. We're going to open up, breathing in, push down, breathe out, tack. This time we're going to hold the knee open, breathing in and pulse. Breathe out. Stay in the rounded position, open up into the arch, push up, 2, 3, 4, breathe out. Breathe in and open, 2, 3, 4, breathe out. Breathe in and open, 2, 3, 4, breathe out. Again, we're going to go for 3. Push up and tack. 2 more. Bounce. 2, 3, 4. And the last one. And bounce. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. Tack. Good. Rock around onto the hands and knees. So we're going to move back into that pyramid position, bouncing the chest down, forward into the plank. Let's bend the knees, bounce the chest for 2, 3, 4. Lengthen into your pyramid, bounce again. Tuck the tailbone, come forward into plank, hold it here and breathe. Keep going, nice deep breath in and breathe out. And again. And breathe out. Bend the knees, open up from the pelvis, bounce the chest to the thighs. Push up into your pyramid, bounce. Fire yourself forward into that plank position. Hold it and breathe. Breathe in for 4 and breathe out. Last one and breathe out. Open up into the pelvis, bend the knees, bounce the chest back. Push up to pyramid, bounce. Fire yourself forward, hold the plank. Good, bending the knees, let's do one more. Bounce the chest back, lengthen into your pyramid, tuck and come forward, hold the plank position. And let's push back and walk the hands to the feet. We finishing off, well, we've got another exercise, so just 2 more exercises. Fingers holding onto the thumb, holding onto the big toe, otherwise hands on the knees. So we're arching into this position, looking ahead, breathing in here, breathe out. Nice deep breath in, and breathe out. Again, we're breathing in, and breathing out. Last 2, and breathing out. For 1 more. And breathing out. Keep the band where it is. I want you to step 1 foot into the center, lift the other foot. We're going to focus on our balance now. So you're looking at your knee. I don't want you to look forward at the mat. Challenge your balance. Now we're moving the hands around that foot to focus on those core muscles to stabilize us. Now you're going to come up, keep looking down, and lift up. Challenging that balance again. Let's do the same thing to the other side. So roll down through the spine. Lift the foot you were just stabilized on, and look at your knee. Now move your hands around that foot. Bouncing and bouncing. And from there, you're going to squeeze the glutes, release your hands, stabilize yourself on that ankle and roll up through the spine. Good. Come down into a seated position, taking the band off around the ankles, and I want you to have a nice big stretch, yawn, lengthen, and have a nice hug of those knees. Bounce the knees towards the chest. Finishing off, I want you to bring the hands behind the head, soles of the feet together, and you're going to try and pinch the mat between the shoulder blades, so you're really opening up across the chest and over those hips, inner thighs, breathing and breathe out. Nice deep breath in and breathe out. Bring the arms in line with the shoulders, bring the feet straddle the mat, and you're going to just rock the knees from side to side. Just loosening up in the hips. Back to the center. Feet, keep them on either side of the mat. Breathe in and arch. Breathe out and tuck. So squeezing and tucking under, scooping the belly in, engaging the glutes. Breathe in and thrust the pelvis up to the ceiling. I want you to bring your arms next to your ears and just lengthen yourself out. Hold it there. Watch your belly button rise and fall. Breathing in and breathing out. And again, a nice deep breath in and breathing out. One more nice deep breath in and breathe out. Roll down through the spine. One more nice big stretch and yawn. And round your spine, reach your hands to your knees, roll up through the spine and just bounce in this position. And into a seated position, just rolling the shoulders, testing that range of movement. Hopefully you've had a nice big improvement in that mobility in the neck. Good. And one last deep breath in. Breathe out. Well done, and thank you for joining me.